Ryan, welcome to the Big Ideas Welcome podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yes, thanks for being here. So we're going to dive right into your story.
Okay.
So you're the owner of Rightway Insurance.
Yes. Yep.
Which, let me tell you, is a noble cause because
Yeah.
insurance is hard to come by, and you are all about providing options for people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me how you realized being your own boss in the insurance world was what you wanted to do. How did you make that shift?
Yeah, so when I first got into the insurance business, I worked for a company that only had one product.
Okay.
So known as a captive insurance company. And so did that for about 3.5 years. Started out, just calling on some referral partners, building my own business.
Yeah.
Got to a point about 3 years in where every new business policy that I was writing, it was a policy that I had brought in through that was referred to me by a referril partner.
Wow. Okay.
And so then just kind of being at that carrier and just seeing like these massive rate increases, year after year, I started to realize I was like, maybe this isn't the best option, only having one product. And so, started looking at options, to go out independently, on my own. And since I was generating all my business anyways, I felt like, I could make it work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the options that you're providing people, I feel like it's almost like I want you guys to have the freedom to say, like, yes, this works for me, or this doesn't work. Is that kind of the heart behind? Like,
Yep.
why do you do what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, everybody's unique. Everybody has different needs.
Right.
Not everybody has the same budget. Not everybody has the same assets to insure. And so
Right.
you can't necessarily place everybody with the exact same company. And so, some companies, like different things. A person, that may have better credit, or a person that has multiple vehicles, or maybe people have a few tickets or accidents on the driving record.
Right.
Life happens, and so maybe another carrier is going to be a better option for them. And so I felt like just having different options is going to better enable us to be able to serve a lot more people.
Yeah. And tell me so coming through the 100Knoxville program,
Mm-hmm.
you were paired with a mentor, you went through it with a cohort. What did that experience offer to help you grow your business and create a path forward?
I had, at the time that I applied, I had already been in business about 8 years.
Okay.
So I was a little hesitant at first because I was like, I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, do I know what I'm doing?
Right, yeah, kind of mildly successful. But nevertheless, I still felt like there was a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And so kind of going into this whole thing, I just had a real open mind. That hey, I'm just going to learn from these mentors. Learn from the other entrepreneurs, and so that was kind of my goal. And so. I'm somebody who, growing up, I didn't really know any business owners, didn't have any type of business background at all, and so very open, to mentors and advice and thoughts that, from other people on how to grow. And I feel like I've walked away with some of that.
Good.
Yeah.
And in your cohort, tell me just about the mix of people that you had there and what that offered to you, just maybe helping to broaden your perspective.
So I feel like we had a very broad group of professionals in there, and so was able to take away something from everybody, and getting to hear their own story. One thing that's real eye-opening when you talk to other entrepreneurs is regardless of how big or small a business is. Mm-hmm. We all deal with the same issues, and so just being able to be in those weekly meetings and dialogue and go back and forth, there was always something to walk away with.
Yeah. Do you have a particular maybe mentality shift or words of wisdom that you kind of carry with you to this day, like something that
I do. So a wise man learns from his own mistakes, but a wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. And so that's something that I always, keep in my mind. For one, if I make a mistake, I got to learn from it.
Yep.
Right. And then also, having mentors that have already made those mistakes and
Right.
already paid those prices.
And they'll tell you, listen, don't do this.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So I really try to apply that, in every aspect of my business.
Speaking of mentors, you kind of get to be a mentor in the community at large, like beyond business.
Right.
Obviously you're a father, so that is kind of a mentorship role,
Oh, yeah.
but you're also a coach, a basketball
Right.
coach.
Yeah.
So tell me just what being able to fill that role in the community community means to you and adds to your life?
My entire life, I really wanted to grow up and be a basketball coach. So that's what I wanted to do, as a career. So, I coached at Hiwassee College, for a year. Went to be an assistant coach at West High School, which, is where I graduated from. And, I realized like coaching is hard, and it takes a lot of time.
What age do you coach?
So now I coach fifth grade.
Oh, okay, okay.
Fifth grade
Awesome.
boys. And so, I've had, largely the same group of kids, for the past 3 or 4 years. Okay. And so I've been able to kind of see them grow and develop, as young men. And so, each of them are getting ready to go into their 6th grade year, so a very pivotal
year.
point. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so it's just it's encouraging, just being able to see these young men grow, and the families that trust me to coach, their young men and stick with me this long. I mean, it's been phenomenal, incredible experience.
What do you think are some of the values that you, as a father and as a coach, that you think are like really important to pass on to the next generation?
Accountability. Taking ownership of your mistakes. I think, we live in a society where, it's easy to point the finger at somebody else. But in order to really grow and be successful, you got to take ownership, and learn from it, right? Because we all make mistakes, but it's not the end of the world. Again, you got to learn from it, move on,
and do better next time.
Exactly.
Yeah. What would you say is something that you've learned from the kids? I know that's like the backwards role, but I think kids have a lot to teach us when we pay attention.
Yeah, the kids that I coach, and then also my own kids. Yeah. You can't coach everybody the same way. You can't raise each of your kids the same way. Right? What we're talking about individuals here, and so people respond differently to different things. And so, some people, you can be a lot more direct with, and they take it, they receive it, and other people, you kind of have to
soften it a little bit.
Exactly. Because, the last thing you want to do is break a kid's spirit, break their confidence. And so that's extremely important. And so I feel like that is something that I've definitely learned, over the years, and continue to try to work on.
When you think about your childhood and like what you were like to coach and to raise, like what are well, let me go back. I'm wondering, as a kid, maybe did you have mentors that you look up to even today, that helped you get to where you are now? I know you said you didn't have business in your family necessarily, right, but in other ways.
I really didn't, and so I think that's why I feel it's so important to be a role model to kids nowadays. Because as a kid growing up, I had a couple of friends, and it was almost like the blind leading the blind.
Right. We don't know where we're going.
Exactly. We were figuring out life, on our own, and so now that's why I think it's so important to be there for those kids. Encouraging them. Tell them the truth about life. And just really try to be there and be an advocate for them. Because I wish I would have had that, growing up.
Right.
But I didn't.
But now you get to be that for somebody. Okay, so as a young business owner, what are some things that you feel like you've made that mistake and you've been able to kind of pay it forward and help other younger business owners or people that are kids even?
I would say plan ahead, because anytime you're going into a business or you're in a business and you're trying to grow or whatever it is, you got to have a strategy. And so a lot of people have great ideas, and we think, oh man, that's an incredible idea, or you could make $1 million, or you could change the world, but you got to have a plan.
How are you gonna do it?
You got to put it on paper, and then from there you got to take action. So you have to take at least one step forward, even if it's a small step, and then after that you got to take another one.
Keep going.
Exactly.
Stagnant.
Yep.
Cool. What are this is like off the wall, but I'm just wondering.
Okay.
Okay, so you got like your life as an entrepreneur, as a father, as a coach. What are some of the things that are just like really bringing you life and exciting you about the future and
a lot of what I've done is I feel like I've really invested in other people a lot. And almost, I'll say this, almost to the detriment of my own family. And so just, kind of talking to other professionals and kind of hearing, their background. I remember one guy in particular, he was like, you can strive for success and you can really push for it. He was like, but, I missed a lot of my kids' games, or, I missed, my daughter's dance recital and stuff like that. And so I think, it's very important that you're intentional about your family time, and you're also intentional about taking care of yourself, because sometimes you can pour out so much to other people that you're spent, you're exhausted.
Exactly.
And it's going to affect you personally. It's going to affect your business. It's going to affect all your relationships. Yeah. And so I think I really have to guard my family time. I really have to guard, my me time, right, to make sure that those things are being taken care of.
Mm-hmm. What's something that you would ask of the Knoxville community right now? How can we support? How can we help?
So we're an insurance business. We focus on personal lines insurance, so auto insurance, home insurance, renter's insurance, life insurance, and so we're a business that has multiple different options. As I mentioned, and so insurance prices are skyrocketing right now. Yeah. The industry is really under a lot of stress, losing a lot of money, and so having options and being able to shop is more important now than ever. Yeah. Because you really have to kind of watch your pocket. And watch where, expenses are coming. I mean, the price of eggs, the price of, milk, everything is increasing. And so insurance is no different. So I would say reach out to us, give us a shot, let us take a look at your insurance, see if we can save you money. If not, that's okay too. There's always next year. And so that's the biggest way that people can support us.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.